Hey friends, welcome to today's video. My name is Stephanie if you're new here, and today we are going to be looking at my 10 favorite shades to transition from summer to fall. So they created this gorgeous muted kind of rainbow and I'm obsessed with them. As you know, I'm a huge seasonal wearer and I can't just exactly go from wearing bright cobalt blues into navies. I need some in between. So I'm really excited to share these colors with you. So let's get into the swatches. So I want to mention that the exposure of this clip is really low just to help make it a little bit more color accurate. It was picking up like super bright, but this is OPI Madam President, which is described as a pinky red, which sure, but I would just call it more of a deep but still vibrant raspberry shade. Now, you know my love for pink is really strong, but I tend to wear lighter and brighter shades, so I think this one is still bright enough that it works perfectly for the end of summer, and it leans just red enough to be appropriate for fall too. So this is 2 coats. Next up, we have LA Colors Wildflowers, which I shared recently in a video where I try LA Colors for the first time. This is just an absolutely stunning muted rose shade that just feels so romantic to me. I mentioned it in the video that it sort of gives me lipstick vibes, which I don't even wear lipstick, but that's just what my brain thinks of when I see this color. I just can't recommend it enough, especially since this brand is so affordable. So yeah, this is 2 coats. The next shade is Arabesque from Cirque, which here it is compared to Copper from Olive Ave, since I also recently showed that. It's a lot more orangey and a little bit lighter, I would say. So I picked this shade because I tend to like brighter oranges for the summer, and then I don't really wear them into the fall that often outside of Halloween. But as far as these brownish orangey shades go, I usually lean more towards the brown side, so I wanted to pick something a little different that still had some color, you know, some noticeable orange in it. And yeah, I think this one is just really flattering, especially for the end of summer. And it has a great formula too. Next up, we have Zoya Honey, which came out in their Sunset palette last year, I'm pretty sure. So this is a really vibrant goldenrod shade, but it's not as sunshiny yellow. You can see it's noticeably darker than Zoya Darcy, which was re-released a couple of months ago. But it's not as mustardy as LA Colors Monarch, for example, or other mustard yellows. So I really think this shade is perfect for the end of summer just because it's still a very bright yellow that has just like a touch of not even mutedness, but just like it's a little bit of a deeper bright yellow, if that makes sense. So the application was a dream because I do have the wide brush for this polish in particular, and you know, for a yellow it's just really impressive with how even the coverage was, even on the first coat. I know a lot of people watching don't really like Zoya, but I just can't help but like them, so I have to include this one. Next up is Pebble from Cirque, which is one of their speckled polishes. So this one is described as a pinkish beige, but I would say the pink is very subtle. Like, there's just a touch of warmth to the base color, and it obviously features the tiny black flecks to create that speckled look. So this one is a little sheer, so it would need 2 to 3 coats depending on your nail length, but I just love this kind of neutral going into fall, and I think the speckled finish is just so fun. Like, there's definitely other polishes with the similar base color that I could have picked, but they were just creams, so I wanted to, you know, share something a little different that's not a cream. So you'll have to let me know what you think of speckled polishes, if you've tried them before. Cirque has a ton, and yeah, this one is one of my favorites. The next shade is Belladonna from Lacquer, which is described as a dusty teal. So here it is next to Olive Ave polish Ironic, which is more of a true teal, I guess I would say. It's definitely very bright and a little bit more blue. But yeah, if you saw my summer favorites video a while back, you know that I love aqua and teal shades. So a dusty teal is absolutely perfect for me to still hold on to color as the weather cools down. So I've never shared Loud Lacquer on my channel before, but they really are one of my favorite indie brands, especially when it comes to their cream formulas. They're just so creamy and so smooth to apply, especially with their wide brush. So if you'd like to see some other polishes that I love and recommend from them, just let me know, because yeah, this one is no exception. The next polish is called Fall Breeze and Crunchy Leaves by Noodles Nail Polish, which is another bright teal base color, and this one is filled with metallic micro glitters in red, orange, gold, blue, and I think magenta too. So Noodles Nail Polish is an indie brand, and it was actually one of my first ones. I think it was actually the second indie brand I ever really discovered and, got into. So I have a good amount of Noodles Crellies and glitter toppers. I am just always a sucker for the really cute combination of glitters that Natalie makes. So with Crellies, they tend to be pretty sheer, so you would need at least 2 coats. And if the base color is white or beige or just anything lighter, it probably would be best to do 3 coats. So yeah, Crellies can need 2 to 3 coats depending on your application, your nail length, and just your preference too. But I think this one is just so fun. It definitely reminds me of the leaves falling and blowing through the sky. Next up is Cerulean from OPI Polish, which I just reviewed last week because this was released for Walker's fall collection. Now, I definitely am a huge sucker for these slate gray blue kind of shades for fall, but I tend to go for the darker shades. So this one, because it is a little bit lighter of a blue, I feel like it just, again, works perfectly for transitioning out of the brighter blues before you jump straight into the darker, dusty blues. Next, I have another OPI polish, and this one is called Virgo, which, happy Virgo season, by the way. So this one I think came out 2 winters ago, and it was inspired by the Sapphire Birthstone, but a little bit more dusty, and I think it definitely leans indigo. It's actually picking up very purple on camera. So this is kind of a chameleon of a shade, but I am so sorry because I completely forgot that Walker discontinued this one. I think it was so she can keep other polishes in stock, but I really hope this one makes a comeback later, either in the year or next year, because it is so beautiful. So if you happen to know any dupes, please leave it in the comments. And lastly, I have Nocturne from Cirque. This is a deep periwinkle purpley base with an aqua shimmer and delicate holographic sparkle. Cirque's shimmers are sheer and they usually need 3 coats for full opacity, but I absolutely love their shimmers because I can layer them and create these dreamy manis. If you follow my Instagram, you know what I'm talking about because I've done a few of them before. It's kind of rare for me to use these shades as a full manicure, but they really are so magical and ethereal, even if they might be a little bit of a pain to work with, especially if you have longer nails and are only using their skinny brush. But I don't know how to explain it. With this color specifically, it just reminds me of the magic that comes when the sun sets. When the sky starts to turn a little bit purple and then you start to see the stars in the sky. I don't know, it just really reminds me of that kind of late summer night nostalgic feeling, if that makes sense. Let me know if you have a polish that just kind of evokes specific imagery in your mind for whatever reason. But yeah, this one is just so beautiful. So that wraps up my favorite summer to fall transitional shades. I know this might be kind of a silly or unnecessary type of video, but I just like going through my collection to see some of the polishes that I haven't worn in a while and some that I think are just really perfect for this time of year because they are a perfect combination of bright and colorful that I think, works really well for summer, but they're a little bit darker and almost dusty looking, which I think is obviously perfect for fall. So yeah, these are just some of my favorites, and I'm gonna try and use them in some full manicures or, for nail art, just to get some more use out of them, because I hate just having polishes sit in my collection when they're this gorgeous and I'm not using them. So I'd love to hear what you think of today's video. If you have any favorite transitional shades or you've never really thought about doing that before, let me know any and all thoughts that you have down below so we can chat about it. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.